In one way, it's a bit odd to compare the Braun Series 9 Pro with the Philips S9000 Prestige, and that's because they're both very different shavers, where the Braun is a file shaver and the Prestige is a rotary style shaver. However, because these are both at the top of the range within their brands, and they cost around about the same sort of price, they make good shavers to compare. In this video, I'm going to cover the main differences and features with these shavers. I'm also going to do a shave then and do a comparison. I've done a side-by-side shave previously with these, and obviously used them separately, but I'm going to do a demo shave in front of you guys so you can see the differences between them. I'm going to try and simplify this video just by sharing the main differences and the kind of deal breakers, because if I was to share all of the differences in detail, we're going to be here for well over 20 minutes, and I know you guys don't have lots of time to spare, so I'm going to try and keep it simplified. However, if you do want to get a lot more detail on it, just jump into the description. I'll leave a link there to the comparison on my website, shavingadvisor.com, where I cover a lot more details. I actually printed that off, and there's pages of stuff that I compare, you know, where it's just very thorough. But for the video, I think it's best just to cover the main differences in features and things that I believe that will be deal breakers. So in terms of costs, they're around about the same kind of prices, but within the same price range, where you can pick one up for around about $240 to $350, even a little bit more than that on each model, based on what accessories that the shavers come with. So ergonomics and grip, for me, the Philips has just the edge over the Braun Series 9, and that's because it has this slim design and it fits more snugly into the hand. And I think one of the reasons of that is because it does not have a built-in trimmer. You have an attached trimmer with it, with the Philips Prestige, but with the Braun, it's a little bit fatter. You know, it's not, it doesn't fit quite as snug in the hand. Not to say it's uncomfortable; it's not uncomfortable at all. Both of them have got plenty of grip, and the Philips has got a nice grip where you slip your finger at the back of it there, and it fits in the hand nicely. But the Braun Series 9 Pro has plenty of rubber grip, rise grip on the back, and on the front of it has like a thumb area where you keep your thumb when you're shaving in certain ways, certain method of shaving. The Prestige doesn't have this thumb section of being rubberized or having any grip at all, which I think is something they could improve on, but it's kind of not a deal breaker. It's just something noticeable, especially when you look at the Braun Series 9, how they've got a little bit of an extra pad there that will provide some grip. Now the blade systems are very different, obviously, because the Prestige is rotary style and the Braun is a file style shaver. But both of them have got decent amount of flex in them now. And this is what's important, is having some sort of flex where it will enable the shaver to shave along all the various contours and staying close to the skin, you know, and also going along the areas like across over the jaw line and the chin line. Now the Philips, each head has some sort of flex within it, so that these will stay close to the skin. Then also the head moves 360 degrees, so this has plenty of flex in there. Each single blade as well has a little bit of flex in it, a little bit of movement. So this all contributes to having a close or comfortable shave that stays close to the skin. Now the Braun Series 9, all of the blades move independently, the Braun Series 9. And the head section also, it can be locked, the head section. We've got a button that we click, and it will unlock the head, and this button also will switch rather than click. It will keep the head in place, but the head does kind of still move off its spot, you know, and I have noticed with this that if with any pressure, sometimes it can move out its position, so it doesn't lock into place fully. Now the Braun Series 9 cutting element setup as well, it has two file shavers on either end, and within the centre it also has two trimmers. Now this aims to pick up flat line hairs and any difficult to pick up hairs, where you don't kind of get that feature on the Philips, and that's because it's just not needed. With a rotary style shaver, that isn't required. Now removing the blade heads for cleaning or for replacement, the Braun Series 9 setup is, you've got kind of push buttons at the side of it, and you just press that and it clips out. It's very easy, and they're very easy to clean manually and then to clip back in. But the Philips 9000, the Philips S9000 Prestige, has a really great design where it has a button that you press and it flips the head open, and that's it. And then to close it back up, we just shut it back up. So it's very, very simple design and very effective for when you're we need to manually clean the shaver. But the big difference with the feature of this is that the Braun Series 9 Pro has a detailed trimmer that is built in, and it's on the back of the shaver. So we press the button and slide that up, and that will, when it's switched on, this is activate the trimmer. So that's built in, so we don't have anything separate to have to to keep separate from the shaver. Whereas the Prestige, that we have to take the head off the blade head, and then we have a trimmer that we stick inside where the blade head would go. If I can just make sure I'm doing it the right way. So yeah, for some people they're not going to like that, having to switch in between. For other people, for myself, I don't mind it. It's definitely no deal breaker for me. And the thing is, with not having the built-in trimmer, I believe it makes the Prestige a slimmer design, because it doesn't have to have that extra component on the shaver. And the feature that the Prestige has that the Braun doesn't have is 3 different power modes. As the Braun Series 5, 6 and 7, they have these power mode changes, where the Braun Series 9 Pro doesn't. Whether they'll bring that in the future, possibly. But the Philips has these 3 power modes anyway, where we have this longer button here that balances, and it has a plus and a minus. So we press that and we get a lower power mode, mid-range power mode, and higher power mode. Now, not everybody's going to get use out of that, but some people will. If you want a much more milder shave, then you can put it into a lower power. But that's just worth knowing, and some people might find that useful. I found it a little bit useful when I tested it out when shaving daily consecutively, just to test the shaver out. And I put it on a lower mode, so I just prevented irritation better by having it on a lower mode. So that's where I think that possibly will come in use, is when you're shaving daily, have less growth and need less power, and want to reduce the risk of irritation. This is not a deal breaker, but some people might find an interest in this, is that the Philips is much quieter than what the Braun is. But I'll switch it on now so you can hear for yourself. Here's the Philips. Not very loud at all, is it? And here's the Braun. Philips, Braun. Quite a bit later, isn't it, Braun? Not a deal breaker for many people, but just worth noting. Now, I'm not going to go into cutting actions per minute, some beard adapter, sensor technology, all that kind of stuff. I'm not going to really go into anything about the indicators or accessories. The only thing I'd say about accessories is that if you like your cleaning stations, where you've got the shavers automatic clean by itself, then the Braun Series 9 Pro has a better device where it cleans, dries, and recharges the shaver. Whereas the Philips at the moment only have a cleaning pod where it just cleans the shaver and lubricates it, and there's no drying action, or it doesn't recharge the shaver. So that could possibly be a bit of some sort of deal breaker for some people if they really like their cleaning stations. Something I will point out about indicators, something I like with the Philips Prestige, is that if we pick the shaver up, it will automatically show how much charge we've got in the shaver. And it's definitely not a deal breaker thing, is it? But I just like having that when I pick it up and I go, oh, I've got 42% left, and it's just a good reminder, because it's easy not to take a look at it and suddenly switch the shaver on and go, oh, I've only got that much left. It's just a little feature I like. So more importantly, let's grab hold of the mirror and put these side by side and get a shave on. Right, so we've got about 3 days of growth there, plenty of growth and enough for these shavers. Give them something to work at, and not too much. Any more than this, then I'd give it a trim beforehand. But yeah, that's a decent amount. Right, I think I'm going to give the Braun my right hand side, because I know how these shavers perform anyway. I'm going to give it the Braun an easier life by giving my right hand side, and then the Philips is going to have the left hand side. Let's go for the Braun first on the right hand side. Okay, we're done on the Braun side. Let's go for the Philips Prestige now on the left hand side. Okay, job done with the Philips. Okay, there we go, job done. Right, let's give you guys some feedback then. So the Braun at first seemed to shave quicker. It got rid of the growth quite a bit quicker than what the Philips did. However, if you notice, and I had patches left over here and patches left there, it took me a lot longer to get rid of them with the Braun. And with the Philips, when I had a few leftover patches, which I had less of here and here, this is the usual spot I get leftover patches. But with the Philips, I had less of them, and then once I ran the Philips back over them, it got rid of them really quick. So that's a massive thing for me, a massive positive. And one thing that was happening during the shave with the Braun as well was when I was putting a locking head on, if you noticed in the shave, I was putting a locking head on, it would slip every now and again. I was going over sections and it was slipping back into whatever position it chose to, because it doesn't lock properly. But it does, when it's unlocked, it does shave along the various contours, like the chin area and the jaw area pretty well. But then so does the Philips. The Philips is better actually. The Philips has more manoeuvrability. You know, it just stays closer to the skin and the jawline and chin line, much better than what the Braun does. So really with speed, it looks like the Braun is the winner for that at first. However, because of the clearing up the patches, it's not. In the end, it ends up the Philips does a quicker job. Now, one of the things that are great about file shavers and Braun shavers is usually the closeness of shave. They usually can be a bit closer than what the rotary style shavers will be. But as I check my face now, both are the same on cheeks. Now here I'll usually get a little bit of stubble because my hair grows in that direction there. The grain goes that way, and that's the Braun side. And I've got a Braun side, and I've got a little bit of stubble there. On that side, the Philips, I've got less. There's much less. So it's almost gone. So that kind of surprised me, that shave. Actually, I was expecting that to be happening with the Philips and with the Braun to be completely clear. So yeah, I'm quite surprised about that. Here's something I can do. You see, when I've got this extra bit of stubble left over, let's try it with the Philips to see where it gets rid of what the Braun left move. That's it, that line there's fine, that's clear there. Let's try it here. Yeah, it's got rid of it. Well, so at least reduced it. That's got rid of it. Wow, yeah, that surprised me. Right, now before that shave, I was already sold on the Philips and rotary shavers being better, well at least this Philips being better on manoeuvrability around the face because of all the flex system. But I was also very much more sold on file shavers and this Philips in providing comfort, a more comfortable shave, and also sold on the fact that I get less leftover hairs on these sections that I usually get leftover hairs, and it having the ability to remove them quicker than what a file shaver will, or the Braun Series 9 Pro. What I wasn't expecting and what happened was usually a file shaver and the 9 Pro is a closure shave. It's usually a closure shave, and it's quicker to begin with, as shown in the video. It's quicker to begin with, but actually because it have to do clearing up after, the Philips ends up quicker. But closure shave is what I had the Braun Series 9 Pro down, Braun Series 9 and 9 Pro down for quite some time. However, as we saw with that shave, when I had some leftover section here, and I used the Philips on it, and it got rid of it. So that kind of yeah, that's kind of threw me, but that was the experience. Now, if you guys choose in between one of these, now your experience might be different. So that's just my experience. I guess it's going to be the experience of quite a few people, where they get leftover hairs like that with a file shaver, and a rotary shaver will remove them. But maybe not everybody's going to experience that and have that issue that I have, where they might have a preference for the Braun Series 9 Pro. But that's my experience. Well, that's a wrap, guys. The next shaver up for review that I'm going to be testing out straight after these shavers now is the Braun, no, not the Braun, the Philips 5000, but it's the Philips 5000X, which is different than the 5000 series that I've done a video on previously and got a review on the website, my website, shavingadvisor.com. So that's going to be an interesting shaver because it looks quite different. So that'll be the next video coming up. But if you want to stay in touch and know when the next videos are coming out and they're going to be live, do hit the subscribe button. You get a notification once the video is live. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a great day.